Hello, and welcome to this week's special presentation. My name is Patrick France, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest, and what a wild ride this year has been. 2020 has turned out to be one of the biggest emotional roller coasters we have seen in recent past. Luckily for you out there, 2020 is almost over, and 2021 looks bright. However, over the last year, the emotional roller coaster, whether it be due to the election, the coronavirus fears, the vaccine hope that we've seen throughout the year, and all in between. VectorVest has helped settle those fears and given our users peace of mind by knowing that they have a proven track record of success on their side. Tonight, we'll examine that track record and show you exactly how to create a stress-free solution to making money. Before we jump into the software, let's talk about a few common mistakes that individual investors make when letting emotion dictate their trading plan. Some common side effects include getting in late and missing that blast-off phase that we experience after a sell-off in the market, getting out late and not capitalizing on some of the gains that you have in your stocks, allowing losses to become even bigger losses. Ask yourself, have you ever said the statement, "Oh, this stock's only down 10%, it's gotta come back from here," and then watch the stock continue to drop and drop? Or letting winners turn into losses. Over my 10 years here at VectorVest, I have met countless individuals who before coming to VectorVest would let stocks run 40-50% and they think the stock could never pull back. Well, by the time I finally met them, those 40 or 50% winners were now break even or even down a little bit. Or maybe you're one who sees the headlines and gets fearful and never pulls the trigger on a trade, therefore missing out on some great market opportunities. And last but not least, buying high and selling low. For non-VectorVest subscribers, this is very common, especially throughout this year, where people bought in at the beginning of the year and sold the March lows. So with that, let's go ahead, jump into the software, and take a look at what this year has presented to us. And now once we're into the software, we'll go ahead to the Graphs tab at the top, click on the word Stock in the upper left, and select Market Timing. And as the old saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and a graph is like a big picture of the overall market or stock. And to see what the graph was telling us at the beginning of the year, I'll go ahead and zoom in by clicking and dragging to the right. And as we can see, coming into the beginning of the year, all the way through the middle of February, we saw the market rallying and the major headlines made it seem like clear skies ahead and there was nothing to worry about in the market. Well, luckily for VectorVest subscribers, we started giving early warning that the market may be due for a correction back around the end of January when we saw that first dip. However, the market continued to rally up until about the middle of February, and that gave us one of our earliest signs that something was not right here. We brought it up multiple times in the views and the daily color guard report of the bearish divergence that we were noticing. To demonstrate that quickly, I'll use the freehand line at the top and connect those highs here. And at the same time, looking at our MTI, we'll draw a line and connect those same points. We have a saying here at VectorVest, and that's keep your eye on the MTI. And that's because time and time again, the MTI has given us clear warning signs of what's to come in the market. No, we're not trying to say that we can predict the market, but we are trend followers and there's a clear trend emerging here. When price hits a new high, yet the MTI hits a lower high, that tells us that it's losing steam as price is hitting that new high here, giving us some warning. But let's continue to zoom out to see what happened after this. As we zoom forward a little bit here, well, after about a month and a half to 2 months worth of warnings to all of our subscribers, we finally saw that bearish divergence taking hold and the market took roughly a 30% dive. To see some of those warning signs a little bit more clearly, I'll come down to the lower left and click on the drop down menu next to confirm calls. and select primary wave first and foremost, which is one of the most aggressive timing systems that we have here at VectorVest, or the earliest warning signals that we see. Well, 2 days after the official high, we got our first primary wave down on the 21st of February. So not only were we warning people to tread lightly coming into that final rally, but we started seeing our first official timing signals coming in right at the very top. Listening to all the news outlets out there, or the official so-called gurus of the market, can increase your risk of letting emotions take hold of your portfolio. One perfect example I can recall is there were outfits out there claiming the market was melting up, getting ready to explode, while in actuality, the market was melting down about 30%. This is why VectorVest has been around for over 30 years, is because we have a systematic, proven track record of success, rather than throwing out all of our opinions to see what sticks. Well, after the sell-off, our first official signal to start trickling ourselves back into the market came on the 25th of March. But after a 30% correction, emotion can be high at that point, keeping us out of a great money-making opportunity. Well, let's zoom along here to see how the market finished off this year. After that first up signal back on March 25th, the market has been rallying ever since. But how did you know as an individual to get on board at that point? Well, that's where being a VectorVest subscriber and following our guidance to a T pays off. Every single Friday, we give an essay about what's going on in the market and how to take advantage of current trends and topics. Let's take a look at the guidance VectorVest was giving us right before the official bottom. So we'll head to the views at the top, change the date to the Friday right before the official bottom, which would have been March 20th. And if we scroll down to that week's essay, as you can see by the title, be patient. Wait for clear signs that the market's reversing before jumping on board and taking advantage of a rally in the market. Well, if we scroll down a little bit more here, we get even more clear guidance on how exactly you should proceed going forward. And just to read a quick portion of it, the guidance was, if you're a day trader using the Derby, you cleaned up Thursday, but what about everyone else? Honestly, it is too early by VectorVest measures to tell if any rally is sustainable. One day does not make a trend. We'll need to see the prices of VectorVest Composite move higher week over week to give us a preliminary signal of an uptrend. When the primary wave turns up, we'll want to see follow through with an explosive up move. If you're prudent, wait for a green light in the price column of the color guard. So let's head back into the graphs and see exactly when that occurred. So we'll go back to the graph section. I'll go ahead and zoom in. And as you can see, we still have the primary wave on here, which was the earliest or most aggressive signal to start getting back into the market. So we got that primary wave up on the 25th, and we're looking for an explosive up day the next day, which is what we got. Well, if you're not this aggressive and you're more prudent, we advocated to wait for that first green light in the price column, the color guard on the homepage. So if we come down here and change it from primary wave to the green light buyer, we can see that first green light for prudent investors came the next day on the 26th of March, allowing us some time to prepare and giving our subscribers a systematic approach to getting back into the market when fear is high or emotions are high. Well, if you weren't comfortable getting in at that point, let's take a look at the DEW, which is more of an in the middle kind of signal. That DEW signal came on the 6th of March, allowing for a little bit more confirmation to the uptrend in the market, but still getting you in extremely early to capture the rally that we've seen here. Well, what about for our most conservative investors using the confirmed calls? Our signal came on the 18th of May, still allowing you to capture a phenomenal run in the market. While focusing on the market from a prudent standpoint, the guidance was to go into the first green light we get, which came on the 26th of March. Also, if you were following the views, some of the suggestions were looking into bottom fishing searches that were coming up in the 1 and 5 day Derby winners. So let's go ahead into the Unisearch tool and take a look at a few of those bottom fishing searches. Once we're in the Unisearch, we scroll down to search as bottom fishing, and you can see a variety of bottom fishing searches for all your investing needs. One of the more popular ones was Bleyer's bottom feeders, so we'll go ahead and highlight that one. And we'll go ahead and change the date back to the 26th of March. Just 3 days after the official bottom of the market this year. And we'll go ahead and run the search. And before we take a look at the stocks that came up here, if you're not familiar with bottom fishing, it is an art that VectorVest has perfected over the last 30 plus years, where we look for the stocks that have been beaten up the most in a sell-off of the market, because we have found time and time again, those rebound the most to capture some phenomenal gains off the bottom. So what we'll go ahead and do is take the top 10 of these stocks, and we'll go ahead to the quick folio in the upper right, and we'll quick folio the top 10. Now a quick folio is taking these stocks and putting them into a portfolio that we'll take a look at here in a moment to allow money management to be added to the trading system to mimic or track our actual portfolio. So we'll just give it a name. And for simplicity purposes, we'll keep the initial investment at $100,000 and $4.95 per trade, and we'll select long, and we'll go ahead and hit OK. And we'll open the portfolio now. And as we can see, the basket of 10 is up 256.22% so far since the lows of March. Phenomenal results, but if we scroll up here to see the stocks in the portfolio a little bit better here, we have CEQP up 308%, DCP up 380%, MIST up 227%. Out of all 10 of our stocks that we got into, none of them are losers. All of them are winners, most of them up triple digits. But bottom fishing searches are not searches meant to be used as buy and hold opportunities, more so as an aggressive move to capture some explosive profits off the bottom of a market. And as we mentioned earlier, an emotional investor or trader doesn't know when to take their profits off the table, and therefore should have a systematic approach to know when they should sell. Well, luckily, the Portfolio Genius does exactly that. Let's go ahead to the edit button in the upper right, and we'll build a custom trading system since this will be our own. And by building a custom trading system, this is where you can put your own rules and trading plan into the Genius and allow it to manage your portfolio for you. This will help remove that whole aspect of being emotional and ensuring that you never miss another phenomenal market move ever again by helping you follow the rules rather than emotions. So let's spend some time and go over all the different settings and how they can benefit you here in Genius. Also, as a side note, the market timing that you see here is due to the auto trader. So if you don't have the auto trader, give our support a call, sign up for the 2-week free trial, and you can see these exact settings. If you don't have the auto trader, you can still manage your portfolio using the Genius. You just don't see the market timing aspect shown here. But for today's purpose, we'll keep the market timing off as we go through our settings. So the very first page, we can see that we can use extended hours and also the purchasing window. This will allow us to make sure that we're buying in between certain time frames here, and also gives us the ability to close at certain time frames as well. This can be extremely useful, especially if you're a short-term trader or somebody who doesn't want to trade in the first half hour or the last half hour of the market, which are typically the most volatile periods, which can lead to bad fills. So at that point, we'll go to next at the bottom. And as we just talked about, bottom fishing is very specific to certain time periods in the market. After that explosive rally, it then becomes more important to look for stocks that are participating in that rally rather than continuing to look for the stocks that are still beaten up after the market has already rebounded. So let's say, for example, we went to the search as prudent, and selected one of our searches that we wanted to replace our bottom fishing candidates whenever the stop criteria that we set in place was met. And just as an example, we'll choose ruler stocks here. And once you've selected where you want to replace your current holdings from, the next part to add in is stop criteria. Up here, you can select from multiple different stop criteria to help manage your stocks. Today, we'll simply use a basic 50% gain, 10% loss. And last but not least, we'll go to the more settings. And here's where you can really customize it to fit your exact needs, such as the number of positions you want to maintain, how many positions you open on a single day, whether you want to invest all the buying power, the portfolio average, or a fixed amount into each position, whether you want odd lots or round lots. Also, for anybody trading in a non-tax advantage account, you can limit repurchases to help avoid some potential tax losses. So you can set that to 31 days, for example. And then finally, you can add some diversification by limiting the number of stocks per industry, sector, or even a percentage amount of the stock's average volume. So once you've got that in place, you can say finish. And now you've got your system built based on your rules that you want to be following. Once you've built your own rules, you can set it to close the position automatically or send an alert only. If you close the position, you can also get alerts under the alert settings here as well. And then you can also have the Genius monitor your portfolio only through market hours or once per day after the market closes to give you a daily update. And to make sure that you're removing your emotions and that Genius is running the portfolio for you, you always want to make sure that Genius is on. So once you've got your plan set up, click on Save. And then it'll ask you if you want to apply that stop criteria to your current positions or to new positions only. So we'll choose existing positions. And now it'll automatically alert us, letting us know whenever that stop criteria has been met going forward. As you can see, they're all set up now with 50% gain and 10% losses. Well, if spending the time creating your own portfolio doesn't sound like your cup of tea, that's okay. Because if we go to the Viewers tab at the top, we have the Trading System Viewer built in for everybody to be able to use. Here you can see all of our pre-built customized trading plans to help you find one that suits your specific needs. For example, our top performer is Russell 2000 divided by RT. And at the top, you can click on Trading System Details to get more information on that specific trading system. So here you can see the basic performance chart and trading system statistics as well. If you want to see the trading system rules that have already been predefined, click on Trading System Rules in the upper right. Now, as we were talking about earlier, we've been taking more of a prudent approach to the market, and this is using the Russell 2000, which is typically known as more aggressive. So this may not be the one that we're looking for. So we'll go back into the software, scroll down here. We see the category of prudent using the DEW, which as a prudent investor, we definitely like to see. So let's go take a look at the system details on this one. And once again, you can see the nice performance chart at the top. You get the trading system statistics and then the trading system rules in the upper right. So for a prudent approach, this seems pretty simple. You're using all the rules here. You're not buying contras or selling stocks short. You're only focused on buying long positions, which definitely seems pretty easy to manage. We like the performance. We like the trading plan, simple, easy to follow. This one would be the one that suits my needs the best. So we'll go out of here and go back into the portfolios and go to the edit button in the upper right. And this time we're going to select a trading system, and you can see the trading system viewer once again that we just looked at. And here's the VST Rockets that is more of a prudent performer using the DEW timing system. If you're using a trading system that uses a specific market timing signal, it will require the Auto Tester add-on. But for now, we'll go ahead and click on Select at the bottom and say Save and apply to existing positions. And just like that, we have completely removed any guesswork out of our portfolio and allowing VectorVest to do the hard work for us while we get to reap the benefits from it. With the alert functionality, you'll get text message or email alerts anytime there's a change in the portfolio that needs your attention, which will allow you to not have to worry on a day-to-day basis about your individual stocks because you know that they're in good hands with the genius. As the old saying goes, plan your trade and trade your plan. The Genius is the perfect tool to allow you to do that without ever missing a beat and allows you to focus on a systematic approach and remove the emotions out of your trading. Once again, taking a look at the graphs here, the emotional investor most likely missed out on the majority of these runs. In fact, some people are still missing out on the market run to this day. Luckily, as a VectorVest subscriber, you've been taking advantage of this uptrend ever since the lows back in March, because you know that you have a systematic, proven track record backing your trading, giving you the confidence to get back into the market when everybody else is fearful. Once again, thank you for your time this evening. And if you have any questions on what we have covered here, please don't hesitate to give our support a call.